Hi everyone, welcome back to AFTV. Welcome to Starting 11 show. We're getting ready in 15 minutes. We're going to find out the starting 11, some key players missing. So we're here to react to it. I've got Kelechi in the building. How are you? When I host, we do a round of applause this year. I like to make the guests feel like welcome and excited and all that. We've got Charlene. And of course we've got Rachel.
Hey, yo.
Bro,
we have beef from Nottingham. We have beef from Nottingham.
We do.
Oh my god, I forgot you two.
I'll see you after the game for the fan Hey!
For anyone who doesn't know, after Nottingham, or the Forest defeat, Cecil interviewed Kelechi, and Kelechi just spread him on toast and just finished him.
He was talking so much, and I was like, what point are you trying to make?
I had him on the ropes.
What point are you
Yeah, it was.
The points weren't pointing. I didn't understand where it was going, so I was like, do you know what?
And then I said, is this above your level? He said, no.
Oh my god, he did. He made a point. Cecil didn't have to reply. And he went, "It's above your level." Basically, you're too thick to get what I'm trying to say.
That's what he said.
Yeah, that's what he said.
On the train back to London, I texted him to apologize.
No, because I was driving. He was in the car. I went, "Oh, Kelechi should apologize."
We didn't need to apologise. Enough is above my level. Tonight, I'll beat you up, my guy. Anyway,
The beef is on.
we'll be dancing tonight, hopefully, after a positive result.
A result that, for at least an hour or so, 2 hours, if we win, puts us in the top four. If Spurs don't get something at the bridge, we stay in the top four for a couple of weeks. I know there's games in hand, but I think one thing we've learned over the last month is games in hand don't really mean too much. Sure, they're there. Sure, there are opportunities for other teams. But we'll have a game in hand on United and we'll be above them if we win. Spurs will have, I think, a game in hand, but be behind if they don't get a win at the bridge. Don't know. It's Arsenal having one of those seasons where one bad result and you think the season's done, one good result and everything's kind of back on track. How are you feeling going into this?
I'm feeling quite positive about it. But obviously, the whole Arsenal thing where a team is playing Arsenal and they've not won in a while and they're playing Arsenal. You have that feeling that
they get that win.
You understand? So, but I'm really, really confident. They know what's at stake because our season rests on this top four. We've not won any game this year. I stand to be corrected. I don't think we won a game this year. Instead, we've been getting red cards. So it's time to correct that anomaly.
Three red cards, 1 goal in 2022.
14 red cards under Mikel Arteta.
That's not good enough.
Wild. That is a mad stat.
I don't want to focus on the negatives because there's a lot to look forward to today. There's a big opportunity here for Arsenal, but it has left us short. It has left us light in midfield. You can talk about Maitland-Niles going on loan. You can talk about the lack of signings, and those are definitely all issues that are perhaps a little bit self-inflicted. But the Xhaka Partey thing. Probably our best midfield combination, and 2 really stupid red cards they both picked up in the last week, 10 days. How frustrating is it, Charlene?
It's so frustrating because obviously we got players out in AFCON as well. We haven't really got much to pick from to bring out and play in today's game, so it's super frustrating. But when you sort of look at it on the flip side, Partey, he did literally just fly back into the country.
He went for him, yeah.
Exactly. It's a lot of pressure
to commend his commitment, to play.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
We have to commend his commitment, 100%.
His head probably wasn't even fully in the game. He probably wasn't even mentally prepared. To get off the plane, come straight. You're not going to be switched on and focused properly. But then you can't really blame anyone because for Arteta, he didn't really have any other options. So
on that, let me just read a super chat quickly from Fletcher Russell. Says, super love to all of you from Oz, Everton fan here and angry with my club right now. Want the board gone.
I bet.
Yeah, I can imagine. Just on Partey's thing, I think he was on the bench for insurance. I really believe it. I don't think Arteta actually wanted him to play. He didn't, and in my opinion, I don't think he was needed that he needed to come on as well. I don't think he affected the game when he came on. For me, he shouldn't have made an appearance off the back or come back from AFCON early. And again, he came on and again he didn't really affect the game. I know we are in that midfield, but I think the game was retrievable with the players we had on the pitch, in my opinion. So I was quite surprised he brought him on. It is a shameful situation. We're obviously getting red carded. I think the statement wasn't necessary, but I think it was more for AFCON, I think he was apologising for. I don't think it was the 2 yellow cards, because that happens in football. I can't believe we're in a place
where players just start apologising after every red card.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
But they sound
It wasn't a crazy red card. It wasn't a crazy elbow. It wasn't a head card.
He was going for the ball.
Exactly.
I don't want to see that every time that happens.
No, I agree with you, and like for the sake of consistency, because people wonder why I would like demand an apology, say from Xhaka, it'll be because it's a repeated offence, a repeated mistake, more often through stupidity rather than just the things that happen in football. Let's say the Liverpool red card probably wasn't really so much that, but for me, it's more like you're at Anfield. It's a stupid tackle, and you leave your youngsters on the pitch, to play with 10 men against Liverpool. That's kind of different. With Partey, I agree. Like I commend the commitment. Well done. And on the one hand, I'm like, thanks for the apology. That's nice. But I don't want football to become this thing where, do you remember when Bruno Fernandes missed a penalty and everyone was like posting love hearts in the comment sections and everyone was like, oh, you'll get through. He missed a penalty. Relax. Like it's football. Bro. But I don't know. Exactly. I guess that's the direction it's kind of gone in a little bit. Let's touch on that Liverpool performance a little bit, because on the one hand, I came away and I had to kind of stop and think, Liverpool are a very good side, even without Mane and Salah. Like I had to kind of remember that. But it was the lack of really causing them any problems. That was the frustration from my perspective. You were at the game collection. We've not actually caught up since. Was that just a case of Arsenal missing key players, or was there something a bit more troubling about the performance?
A bit of both. I thought we started well. I think we had a shot on target.
Yeah,
first few minutes. 20 minutes. I think there was a free kick and all that, and then we just. I don't know how that first goal went in. Like we just took our eyes off the ball and it just went in, and from there, obviously. Our man Tomiyasu wasn't fit, was clearly not fit for that game at all.
Rumours he won't play today, actually.
Yeah, exactly. He wasn't clearly fit. So we are kind of in a situation whereby we're just having to patch players up and play.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, we have someone like an Aubameyang that is back. His heart condition is okay now. I think it's time for him to be integrated in the team. So, for instance, if you drop Odegaard into the middle today, which he should do with Lokonga,
probably will.
Smith Rowe plays in number 10. You don't have any other attacking options off the bench.
I don't know
who's going to come up from the bench. So that's the time. Forget whatever beef, whatever indiscretion or whatever. Start integrating people, because we have a target which is the top 4.
You could use Nketiah though. You say he hasn't.
That's part of it. But you can pick and choose them. There are few and far, but I don't think players like Biarritz, they are ready. 23 players. So many of those players are not ready. Hutchinson, they are not ready for the top flight. Imagine Hutchinson playing against Burnley, physical Burnley. He hasn't done it before. You understand? So it's time to bring on your experience players. Even if he's not in form, reintegrate them. Vlahovic, or what's his name?
Vlahovic.
Yeah. It looks like we're not going to get him. So what are you going to do? Keep Aubameyang absent? Lacazette is not scoring. So where are the goals going to come from? My grandfather.
There might have to be some real compromise from Mikel Arteta.
Of course.
There's going to have
this is
to
a
be
test of his man management skills. 100%.
But he's already said in his press conference that Aubameyang won't be featuring in today's game.
There you go.
So there's obviously something else that's happening.
There's other strikers out there as well, though. I know everyone's on this Vlahovic hype, but there's still Jonathan David, there's still Isaac, there's still players that we've been.
It's difficult to make that kind of deal in January.
I think you're right with Aubameyang. I think he needs to find a way to kind of make peace. And
did you see that video? Sorry to cut you short. Did you see the video? One stupid fan in Cameroon asked Aubameyang about. Asked Pepe, is Aubameyang leaving? And he's like, I don't know. It's trending on Twitter. It was a stupid question. I personally didn't like it. Wow. So you don't ask such questions, in my opinion. He said, okay, some fans were commenting, did you ask him about Vlahovic? And he said, yeah, but I can't reveal that. It's everything, just reintegrate. We need unity. We need, people like Saka looks burned out.
Yeah, he is. He's been carrying us for how long?
You're not surprised by that.
So whose fault is it? Pepe has been on the bench for months. I can count how many minutes Pepe has played. Yeah. But you look at a team where he's coming from, the manager, Man City, they mix and match. So they might have a blinder today, 10/10. Tomorrow he's on the bench.
But Pepe hasn't been performing though, Kelechi. So I understand he's playing Saka because he's getting a performance.
Cecil Kelechi round 2.
Exactly. Who's getting the point today?
Saka is more consistent than Pepe. Yeah. That's facts. But each time Pepe has played, for instance, yes, I know it was Sunderland and stuff. He had a great game, 10/10 game. Nutmeg assist. There's a baller in him. then you rest your star man for some games, or you take him off early when you're leading Leeds United 4-0. He doesn't need to play 90 minutes. When you're leading Norwich 4-0, he doesn't need to play 90 minutes. You take him off. You rest them. That's what I'm saying.
I think like you spoke right at the top of that. You said unity is key. I think we do need to have all of us, the whole squad together, to even challenge for this top four spot.
Omayan will have his boys there. He will have his boys. They'll have cabals inside the dressing room. It's normal.
Yeah.
So how would they be feeling? So you have to unite the squad. That's what I say. We are fighting for one goal. That's what I think.
So you know what's interesting about all this? We're talking about unity, we're talking about man management, we're talking about problems with burnout for youngsters, we're talking about players like Pepe and Aubameyang who aren't involved, one not at all, one has sort of featured very sparingly. We're talking about 1 goal in 2022, we haven't won a game in the 4 we've played this month, we're talking about 3 red cards, and yet, our last 5 Premier League games are really promising. That's the weird thing about this month. We played 1 Premier League game. It was against City on the opening day of the year, New Year's Day. I've got them here. I've got the results from our last 5. Since that, horrible defeat at Everton, we beat Southampton 3-0 at the Emirates. We beat West Ham 2-0 at the Emirates. I mean, West Ham showed yesterday, even against Man United, with all those players, they're a struggle to beat. We absolutely dominated them. Brilliant on the day. 3 points. 4-1 win at Leeds. 5-0 win at Norwich. And then, yes, we lost against Man City at the Emirates. But there was a performance there that we were really proud of. So our last 5 Premier League games have been super encouraging. And I think in the middle of everything we've just been talking about, Spurs getting a load of last-minute winners against Watford in the 97th, 95th and 97th against Leicester, Man United 93rd. Yes, it feels like we've been losing ground and like we've been falling away. But the reality is our Premier League season, in terms of our performances and results, haven't actually suffered a bump yet. And now is a chance to kind of pick up momentum in a competition we've been doing well in.
I'm glad you showed those last 5, those specific results, because that's where I bought into Mikel Arteta. It was those performances. The 10
December, really. Yeah,
the December run. The 10 games unbeaten in all competitions. That I didn't buy. Yes, there were some good victories in there, but the draws were very, very worrying, and I questioned Arteta and
the performances were iffy at times. Yeah.
So I didn't buy into it, but that run there is kind of what made me change my tune. However, there's still so many inconsistencies that I see in this side that says we might not get that 4th spot position. And I think what we've had now, 7 losses I think this season, and the worst I kind of seen Arsenal was kind of last season. We had 13 losses by the end of the year, and that resembles when Wenger had his last season in, I think it was the 17-18 season, was another 13 losses. So as long as we stay away from that number of 13, I think we kind of got to shut down any more losses towards the end of the season. I think 9's acceptable, but anything over that, it's a big worry, and I'm fearful that we're going to see these performances like Nottingham Forest again, or even the Everton one. I want to say we can get 4th, but I really don't. I think we're going to finish just outside, personally.
Charlene, the 11 comes out in 1 minute, and I think it's fair to say there's one thing about Arsenal. When we've had our first 11, we've more often than not we've delivered actually. But you miss 1 or 2 key players, whether it's Tomiyasu coming out and Cedric or Chambers coming in, whether it's Partey coming out and Lokongwe Oneni coming in. I really like Lokongwe. Quite like Oneni as well, but you can see that there's a massive drop. Does that just worry you when it comes to squad depth?
100%.
Like games like today,
yeah,
we
100%.
know we're short.
Exactly, but then on the flip side, I mean, what other options have we got? We've just got to work with what we've got, and players need to be performing, and they just need to go that extra mile as well. Don't sort of look at the opposition and think, oh, it's Burnley, they're sitting in 20th place. Don't take no team lightly. Go out there for the win.
Can confirm that apparently Tomiyasu is not in the squad today, so it should be out any second, the starting 11.
While the starting 11's coming out, I was going to read some super chats. So we've got Enoma Stitz says Smith Rowe needs to start more than Martinelli. Does anyone agree? No, I think
Martinelli's been outstanding.
And if we even look at last,
that first 15 he's the only player that proper showed up.
Singing his praises
he says a generational talent. And on top of that, he basically single-handedly took Matip off last week. He was ripping him to shreds in that. Obviously, we lost the game, but in that first 15, he was the key player in that. Sam Tressider says Partey maybe did it because it's a cup semi-final.
It's out, guys.
I don't think it was on
purpose,
I've got
one
intentional.
more quickly from Shref says, I'm still sad from the Liverpool loss. To be honest, I really want some experienced players in Arsenal. Liverpool, City, Chelsea have them. Just do sign it again. It's young. We're too young and inconsistent. Go for it, James. That's
really interesting 11. Ramsdale starts in goal.
Yep.
Now the back 4, there is a surprise. Yes, no Tomiyasu, but White's going to start at right back. with Holding, Gabriel and Tierney. Lokonga and Odegaard, which was to be expected. Saka, Smith Rowe, Martinelli and Lacazette up front.
Okay.
Now, I find that White move to right back really interesting. We saw him do it against Norwich.
Did it well.
I wonder whether because Burnley are a threat from set pieces, maybe he wants that extra bit of aerial presence, so he's kind of got 3 centre-backs on the pitch. I wonder about that. But I thought Chambers did well against Liverpool. And if you're talking, I know he's not as good as Tomiyasu, but in terms of attributes, he is a hybrid right-back centre-back who comes in, he's quite good on the ball, who could do what Tomiyasu does, and that's how Arteta used him for a lot of last season. But he's on the bench.
He just come back from injury, so remember that.
Chambers?
Yeah, neck injury. That's why he didn't play. Tomiyasu was just rushed in. Tomiyasu didn't have a training session.
You're right.
Yeah,
He was part of the players that were the reason we got the Spurs game called off. That's probably why.
He's not clearly fit.
Your first...
And don't forget that Burnley are playing without Chris Wood.
Yeah. Have they got replacement for Wood?
Easier.
No, not yet.
Slightly easier.
However, though, that aerial threat, what you touched on straight away, is the one thing: set pieces.
Set pieces.
Even against Liverpool first, they got a goal disallowed from a set piece. I think that's
hit the post, Canate.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
that is the main thing. Having putting Ben White in there, tall, and then Rob Holding, Gabriel. We've got tall centre backs to deal with that. I think that's definitely one thing I'm fearful of. Is the set pieces where we'll concede from today.
Guys, listen to this bench. Leno is back.
Oh,
so that's interesting.
That's a massive surprise.
We thought he was basically on the brink of leaving.
Yeah.
We saw the rumours about Turner coming in from the MLS. That slowed down and Leno's back on the bench. Tavares and Chambers. And then Alebiosu's on the bench. Patino, Salah Eddin, Hutchinson, Biereth, Nketiah.
Wow,
that is a very young bench.
Under 23.
So that fits into what I've been telling you.
Yeah.
You have to blood the former captain in.
Yeah, why isn't Aubameyang here? Like, this is a day that we need him.
I mean, that's an extraordinary young bench. Like,
wow.
who's I'm trying to think who might be missing.
Yeah,
Cedric's
That's
still
what
injured.
I'm thinking.
Yeah,
Cedric's injured. Tommy obviously not fit. Who else is there?
Obviously the red cards, we've got Xhaka.
Tavares. Sorry, did you say Tavares on the bench?
Xhaka and Partey out.
I'm looking for the Burnley 11, but they're deciding to keep us waiting.
No worries.
That's crazy.
While you're there, just AFC Max from Super Chat says, howdy fellas, big game, let's hope waking up at 12 p.m. is worth me watching the Burnley game for the top 4. Top 3 is certainly achievable if we win 3 games. There's one, that's the one of Super Chats. Another Super Chat is from Bijou. Texera says, win today and by our next game we'll be back to full strength. I think when we get Champions League we can get more players and depth. However, we can see that one injury to key areas ruins our flow. 3-0 today, he says.
There's a couple of things on that because, let's say we get back into Europe and
Champions League. But
you'd think, and we really bloody hope that we add 1 or 2 players this January. You then hope you add another 2 or 3 in the summer minimum, like of real quality. And then your Hutchinsons, Biereth, Patino, they're also a year older. So naturally the squad starts to get a lot more padded up, come the end of the summer, start of the new season. But we are very light at the moment.
We are.
Are we surprised we've not done enough this January?
Yeah, like we needed to have some movement.
I'm really surprised. It looks like we are just clearly focusing on the Italian the Vlahovic guy.
But should we be demanding more than just a striker? Because for me,
that's
I spent the most in the window last summer.
Exactly.
Conte's got the money.
I'm looking at
Why are we all just going we need a striker or a midfielder?
I was watching Everton Aston Villa and I'm looking at that Ramsey.
Yeah,
that's the player you need.
Yeah, just
and I'm a huge fan of McGinn as well.
Yeah. We're saying
these clubs.
I'm hearing Arsenal
this
bid for, was it 66 million for Vlahovic? Like, you could get a striker and a midfielder for that price. Like, what? I don't know. It's hype, and I understand we need a Vlahovic sort of player, but are we getting caught in the hype of
I think so.
Yeah,
clearly.
I think so.
You put so much faith into the board and
there's no guarantee that the player will hit the ground running.
Right. And he has to. He has to. There's no
precision for
him.
He has to
straight in.
Exactly.
But then when you look at the last transfer window and the players we brought in, like Tavares, Tomiyasu, Lokonga, there was no big hype around these players. These were like low-key players that came in, and they've been good. They've shown up.
If you look at it, look at the richest club in the world. They went for Chris Wood, Premier League proven. They aren't going for somebody that is not yet Premier League proven. There's no time to blood the person in.
But apparently we're looking at Calvert-Lewin as well. But he's currently out injured.
They're fighting relegation. So they won't let him come
I can't really see him leaving
Moshiri
there.
and the rest of them, they've got money, so that's what they need the money.
Yeah, there's players
Even
out
down
there.
in the Championship as well. Like, there's good
Yeah, there's
players
Ben Diaz.
in like
There's Ben Diaz
Championship
and- yeah.
teams as well. So like, we can shop
Well,
around.
The idea, I don't know. You can get a Jonathan David. You can get a Basuma as well, probably proven to come in that midfield. Like, there's players out there, but again, there's a Vlahovic hype that's just surrounding Arsenal fans right now. And realistically, we need to build as a team. If we're not going to like collectively keep screaming blood in the players like Aubameyang, I suppose when Pepe returns, then we really need to strengthen and not just go for this one big signing. And
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, you know what I mean, we've seen it happen before and it not work out. So
I'm just getting the 11s up so we can discuss them.
No worries.
But I'll read Burnley's out now. It's Pope in goal, Peters, Tarkowski, me, Roberts, McNeil, Brownhill, Westwood, Lennon, and Rodriguez and Vidra. I saw
Vidra starts,
yeah. I saw that picture of Aaron Lennon and Cristiano Ronaldo from when United played Burnley a couple of weeks ago.
And they played well in that game, Burnley.
Yeah.
They played really well.
Yeah, they caused them trouble. I mean,
Didn't they lost 3-0 in that game?
The result flattered Man United. So 3-1. Flat.
it was 3-1. There is something about Burnley, kind of no matter what form they're in, no matter where we play them, I'm always like, it's going to be tricky. I don't know why. I always say that. Even though we more often than not do beat them, there's always something about bloody Burnley.
We didn't beat them last season, so
Yeah,
I understand the fear, but they are bottom of the league. We haven't lost to
Loads of games in hand.
We haven't lost to a team that's been bottom of the league ever, so that's a good stat. Hopefully it keeps that way. But yeah, no, I think Burnley as well. They've been unbeaten. Yeah, they haven't lost. They've lost in the last 11 away matches. Like the stats do flatter us at the moment, but it all kind of depends for me on the start. Arsenal have been really good starting off the game, starting fast. We get a goal, and then that's kind of it. We take the game to the team. But if we concede first, the record's not great for us coming back. So that's a big fear. And the midfield for me is where I think we'd beat Burnley. However, our midfield is so light. Today, I have a bit of fear. It's more the physical battle.
And I want to touch on that. Let's take it to the tactical pad because it's kind of for me the best way to illustrate the situation. Now, when I see Odegaard, Smith Rowe, Lokonga, I know earlier in the season we were playing with Odegaard and Smith Rowe in central midfield, but they were playing much more as almost a flat three with Odegaard kind of drifting left, Smith Rowe drifting right, and I kind of felt when you got two younger, more inexperienced players, you almost want them to be a flat three so they can kind of help each other out. Against Liverpool, what amazed me was that Arteta actually went for Smith Rowe very much as the 10 behind Lacazette and then just left Odegaard and Lokonga to do it themselves. And I kind of get why, because you want to leave Smith Rowe up there to kind of always be a threat, sort of, and he'd drift left and him and Lacazette would almost press in a 4-4-2. But it did surprise me because when you don't have a Partey who can be, or dare I say Xhaka, who could be like the rock and the experience to kind of anchor it all together, I'm just surprised he went for
that formation.
Yeah, basically
left them exposed a little bit.
I think so.
Yeah.
That's what I'm.
I would have preferred a
taking to
4-3-3. Again, watching Aston Villa yesterday, what that kid the Ramsey's doing. Oh my god! And then you have Maguire and then the Brazilians sitting, and they've got work rate and pace to just trouble you. I would have gone for a similar formation as well.
What would you guys do?
I guess there's also the option to interchange, so he can always sort of switch it up during the game as well if it's not working with the formation he starts with.
Do you know, every time I look at a game, this is me as a player and one just as a fan
Sorry,
as
as
well.
an ex-player, please.
Let's
Let's not deceive our audience.
Kelechi is on to you today. You got to give him another point for that.
Where's your Arsenal gear? You supporting? What's it? I don't know what's going on.
NBA today.
The box, bro.
It's a football game
Milwaukee
today.
Bucks, bro.
Oh, so
We're playing basketball.
we're watching football. Anyway.
Is that team playing today?
You lot.
They won earlier this morning.
We'll have to load the calendar.
Okay.
Anyway, let me go back to ex-player. Sorry, when I before a game, I always look at the game and think, where is our goals going to come from? How do we beat this team? And for me, I'm struggling because Lacazette's not the player that's going to go in behind. He's not going to be doing that today. Burnley are very physical. They're very good in the air. So we tend to like to put crosses in the box. We saw that against Liverpool as well. They tried that on Thursday. Didn't work. Got cut out massively. We've got a short side going forward anyway, especially with Emile Smith Rowe.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually.
Martin Lacazette. They don't got the greatest of height. So now I'm confident, but I'm now thinking, where is this goal going to come from? Is it going to come from a long shot?
Is that why he's playing Smith Rowe closer to Lacazette to try and get him running in beyond? Like maybe that's it.
Yeah, that's why he's playing.
But
But I think, do you know who I think suffering the most from this change? For me, it's Bukayo Saka. Because the one thing about the way Arsenal play at the moment is our fullback, as we've seen with White going out to right back now, they don't overlap. They don't do that kind of what Bakary Sagna did for so long for us. Like that's not the right back's role. The right back's role is to almost tuck in more into like an inverted role, so that Gabriel can come across and Tierney can then bomb on. But the reason I think Saka's suffering is not only because he's not got the help from the fullback, that's always been the case, it's more that now Odegaard's playing in central midfield, whereas what he did so much as a number 10, when he was playing against Norwich, wherever, we saw it, we were all at the Norwich game, he drifts so far wide to basically link up with Saka. When Saka comes inside, he hugs the touchline. Or when he's inside, it's Saka hugging the touchline. And I just wonder, with these same players in the pitch, can he still have Lokonga at the base, Smith Rowe as almost the left central midfielder, because those are the pockets he loves to get in.
Remember, this is what you just said. That's what happened at West Ham 3-3. Because Smith Rowe dropped him. Then Odegaard was dragging us up the pitch, and we scored
he
three.
was.
And he was simply us on the pitch as well. Okay. So that might be better to have Smith Rowe pair with Lokonga. Yes, maybe not the most physical. Maybe Odegaard is a bit more physical than I can press more. But what Odegaard brings in that forward position, I think is great.
I was just going to say, I just think if you are lacking players, try not to split the partnerships that have been working. And the partnerships I'm looking at, Gabriel and White. That's why I don't like the idea of White going to right back. He did well against Norwich, and maybe he'll be fine for this game. Holding did well in that game. Holding did well at Anfield as well. But I don't want to be splitting them. And likewise, and I'll do it in blue, Odegaard and Saka, as I mentioned. I don't want to be. They have a good thing going. That's why I don't want to see Odegaard be sort of shoved off to the left side of the pitch now, where, say, Martinelli and Smith Rowe and Tierney, they've got a good understanding. I just think, I know you've got to adapt, and I know that means you're going to have to move and shuffle the pieces of the puzzle, and I get that. But try and keep the partnerships that have been working in place. What were you going to say?
Do you think we have enough to still with this team on the pitch to get the job?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Okay, cool. The thing I was going to say was, it's interesting that Ben White's gone playing right back, and considering most of our play comes down the left side, right? When it comes to the attack, it's now I'm confused which side is going to be the most heavily dominated, because Ben White loves to drive forward, he loves to play forward, and him and Saka, I know you say you don't like them mix up the partnerships, but I think it could work.
It did against Norwich.
Yeah, and I think Arteta is looking for more wing play and wide play then through the middle. If I'm completely honest, I think you're going to see a lot of
our two best players.
Right? Yeah, because I think he's going to sit. I think they're going to not sit, but I think they're going to be doing more of the defensive work, say, and they're going to use the width. That's where I think is the goal's going to come from. I kind of just clicked onto that from going through this. I think it's going to be from Kieran Tierney and Martinelli in behind, and then Ben White and Bukayo Saka. But I just want to quickly, sorry, I know I've been rambling on. Just read some super chats just quickly.
Yeah, go for it. We'll end on some fun facts. And are you going to the game?
Yes, sir.
Right, so
he's in the box.
We better run off it.
He's the one talking for me. I don't need to say anything.
Alright, let me just run through these super chats. Everybody says, simple, expect just win big, 5-0, fantastic.
5-0, you know.
Oh.
Who's scoring them 5 goals? Let us know the goal scorers as well. I'm intrigued.
I mean, last week on Thursday I was saying we're going to win 3-1. I got humbled.
Well, Kelechi's saying 3-0 today as well.
You saying 3-0? Yeah.
You sticking with it after seeing
our
lineup and our
I'd
bench?
love to be 3-0 up with 20 minutes to go and then get Hutchinson to have 10 minutes. Patino to
Imagine like one of our under 23s just come on and just shine bright.
I'll take a 1-0 now.
And
again, he could have thrown in the Carabao Cup game. He could have thrown in one of the youngsters. That's what Nketiah did when he scored those 2 goals. Was it against Doncaster in the Carabao Cup?
Or was it Sunderland?
No, years ago, Nketiah came on.
I think it was.
Yeah, you understand? So
it's true.
Well, Saka's first Premier League appearance came. I think we were beating Fulham 4-1, so he came on with maybe 5-10 minutes ago. So those are the moments.
Exactly.
S. Cyril says,
Sorry, we're just here busy talking. Missed your super chat. Have you got it back, Sis?
I've got it. S. Cyril says, the Oba talk is no good. Arteta has to stick to his guns or he will lose credibility with the squad. Love from India.
No, it's not about losing credibility. You've punished him. He has served his punishment. You have to integrate him. Is he going to give any free salary? So he's not playing the game. He's just sitting at home chilling. 350 in his account.
I've got to say, I get where you're coming from.
Yeah, you have to
be a compromise.
What Lukaku did is worse than all Aubameyang's crimes put together.
But we don't know all the crimes.
We don't know.
They have told us I mean, they should still leak it to the Athletic. The Athletic will tell us. That's what we did.
Gillette, you're going to give us the whole...
The way information is coming out, you're looking, who is the person saying all these things? And the manager once said, the mole in this dressing room will destroy. But yes, we are hearing things in the dressing room. So who is leaking it? I don't say anything.
Jid F32 says, do you really expect us to sign 9 players in one season? I think that's when the talk, obviously, the signings from summer, and then now...
I think I only said about 5 in 2 windows.
Yeah, I mean...
We did 6 in 1.
Exactly that. And the Kroenkes have proven that they're going to put their money where their mouth is. And
He's probably saying for the sake of the depth we might need, but as I said, youngsters come through and all that.
So just cut it short. Balotelli fought Mancini. He still played.
I think he's back in the. He's back
he's
back in the national team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bro, he fought Mancini. You see the video?
Bro, we're about to not
Really?
make it to a second World Cup in a row. It's desperate for Italy, man. But we'll talk about that on
I
Don
didn't even
Yeah.
know that.
Yeah.
Benzema made a return as well for France.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
things get squashed. Things get squashed. But I do understand.
Our beef is still on.
That's
Yeah.
one thing that ain't getting squashed.
Man, he served his punishment.
I'm not letting that slide.
What's he got to do?
I'll see you after the game.
But then, guys, just on that as well, when we sort of look at the Ozil situation and everything as well, is it a case of stubbornness then of Mikel Arteta saying, well, this is what happened, this is how I feel about it, I ain't changing my mind? Because it's not the first time that we're seeing this. Is it him being stubborn?
I saw him wear the captain's armband not too
Is-
long ago.
We have
Is that
seen
favouritism?
players
Things
make
come
it
back.
back. We've seen players make it back on
But
their
what is
feet.
so detrimental as to why we need a Aubameyang in a game like today and he cannot come back in the team? What is it that's so detrimental about it? A lot of questions.
They're asking questions. There's no need keeping us in the dark. What has he done? Why is he earning free salary? That's what I'm asking. I'm paying for his salary. So I demand explanation.
What, for your box seat?
I can't comment on that.
Alexander.
Right, let's fly through. You need to get to the game. Okay.
Alexander B. quickly. I feel apologetically hungover, but hoping the boys will pick me up. That
too.
midfield is
You can be
so worrying. That midfield is so worrying. Hopefully they should be able to get the job done today. Fingers crossed. Last couple.
Apologetically.
Bijou back with a super chat says, if you don't sign, do sign and end up with just Arthur, how much of a bottle job is it that we didn't sign a midfielder at the beginning of the window and lost games? Not another guard into midfield ruins the creativity up top.
Some good points there.
Good point.
That is it for the super chats.
We did have some fun facts, but you really need to go to the game. So I'm just going to fly through these. Ready? This is a speed round.
Are they fun?
Go on.
I want no reaction to any of these.
We talk too much,
Okay, let's
clearly.
fly through them. Fun fact number 1. Arsenal have lost just one of their last 18 league games against Burnley, winning 12 and drawing 5, though that defeat was last year's home fixture with Aubameyang's own goal. That was a dark time, that, a year ago, remember that?
And I think Xhaka got sent off in that game as well.
Yes, he did.
That was when they allowed 2,000
No
fans.
reaction.
So I was one of the lucky 2,000. And then
You were the lucky 2000, wow.
this guy camera just panned to me when he got. I was just like this. It was on TV. Like.
Yeah,
People are
I'm
now
not
thinking,
gonna
what games did we not get a red card in? That's what I was
Yeah.
going to figure out now.
Fully.
I remember that game clearly.
Literally.
Well, we did in this one. This is Arsenal's first league game since their 2-1 defeat to City. We also got a record. The Gunners haven't lost their first 2 league games in a calendar year since 2012, while they have not lost their first 2 home league games in a year since 1962. Some good records for Arteta to beat there. Bloody hell. Fun fact 3. Burnley are winless in their last 11 Premier League games, Premier League away games, drawing 4 and losing 7. I don't like these things. It sets us up for
Exactly.
a heart-wrenching result. And then fun fact number 4, we talked about Odegaard and his role today, but he has been involved in 6 goals in the last 7 Premier League appearances for Arsenal. 3 goals, 3 assists, 2 more than he had in his first 25 games in the competition, which was 2 goals and 2 assists. Odegaard. This is why I kind of want to see him higher up the pitch, but I understand he might have to just do a selfless role in midfield for us. And that's it. Hope you enjoyed that speed fire round.
What's your score prediction, James? Quick, because I don't know yours.
Like I said, 1-0 Arsenal, but that is me being kind of hopelessly optimistic. I do.
You optimistic for
Wow,
1-0?
for 1-0 against Burnley.
Do you know?
James.
Don't hate me, guys, but this is set up for Arsenal have a lot of the ball. Burnley keep it really tight. We struggle to do anything, and it's going to be either a moment of absolute quality, and I don't know where that's coming from. It's going to have to be Saka or Martinelli again, or a moment of luck. I don't know. So I'm nervous. I don't see 3s and 4s today.
Oh, I don't see freezing. No, it's never been that for a while. I think 2-0.
She does.
I think we've got the.
So I hope you're right, man. If you, I'll be loving it. I'll be
No, if
enjoying
I'm
it.
right, you have to give me something.
What?
Buy me jersey. You know that underground jersey now that we have.
Do you like that jersey?
Buy it for me. If we win, if we score three.
With a TFL one.
The TFL?
I don't like it.
I can't wear a t-shirt I've been sitting on my way to work.
Oh, yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Like,
And Kelechi, if we lose, we don't get the 3-0. Do we get your jersey,
I
mate?
no comment on that.
We want your NBA jersey.
I don't comment on that.
honestly, I don't even care. I'm feeling how have we. Anyway, right. Okay, let's just quickly round up then with predictions. I've said 1-0, Kelechi.
3-0.
3-0.
Oh, me, sorry, I'm going 1-0.
There's the fingers.
1-0 to Arsenal.
We've gone for 1-0
1-0
Arsenal.
Arsenal.
For me, 2-0 today. I want to see 2-0, but I actually want to see the boys start fast. That's the main
Yes.
thing today. They need to be like at Liverpool. They got to be up for this game. People, they might be thinking Burnley, you know, it's going to be comfortable. Don't want to see any of that. I want to see the same fight we see against City and Liverpool in the first half.
Well, there you have it, guys. All right, those are the predictions are in. Starting 11's out. We'll be live in about 20 minutes or so for the watch along. Come on, Arsenal. Let's get this.
See ya then.